Well, beginning this very Saturday, that is October 1, 2016, airfares are likely to see an increase of some $10 for passengers and $20 for cargo. This is as a result of the introduction of safety charges by the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority. The move, we're told, has become necessary following moves by the authority to decouple its air navigation services and regulatory functions. So what does this decoupling entail, and how has it triggered the introduction of the safety charges? Sheila Tamoklo reports on AM Business.
The Ghana Aviation Authority is initiating steps to decouple air navigation services from its regulatory body. That is to ensure better efficiency when it comes to air navigation services. That is to say, specialization breeds more efficiency. However, prior to this initiative, which is going to take full implementation somewhere next year, there is going to be the introduction of the safety charges come 1st of October. $10 for passengers and $20 for cargo or freight. So we are here at the Kotoka International Airport. We come to sample the views of passengers when it comes to this new charges, and also we're going to find out what this charges and this decoupling is going to mean to air navigation services in this country. The initiative to decouple air navigation services and aviation regulation would primarily see the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority hand over air traffic management role to a new independent entity and focus on its core regulatory function. The authority is working to receive the requisite legal backing for this by June next year for onward implementation. The Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Simon Alote, says they have advanced moves to ensure smooth implementation.
The Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, as it is currently structured, has two units. We have the regulator and the air navigation services unit. So the CAA makes all the regulations and provides safety and security oversight for various operators, airlines, service providers in the aviation industry. Now, the Air Navigation Services Unit or Air Traffic Services section provides air traffic services to airlines to ensure that it is safe to fly. So basically, the coupling is to separate the two units. It will be a full structural organizational separation. That means two entities will be created out of the current entity, two autonomous entities. So the whole idea of having an independent autonomous regulator is to ensure each entity will now be left to focus on their core mission and vision. Civil aviation is about safety and security oversight, not performing safety and security itself, but overseeing agencies which provide safety and security services. What we will be doing next is to get a consultant to work with the in-house team, a consultant who is independent, very neutral, objective, to sort of drive or champion the process. The reason why we want an independent consultant to work with the team is to ensure a lot of transparency. In fact, one of the challenges we had from the first decoupling was the perception that the assets of the organization were not shared in an appropriate manner. So it's one of the major terms of reference to look at how assets and liabilities could be shared appropriately. So the committee has started its work. The independent consultant to come on board before the end of the year, and we are given a deadline of mid-June 2017, by June next year, for the committee to finish its report, submit to the management. The board of directors will review it, after which it will escalate to the Ministry of Transport for their review and approval. So from the ministry level, it will go up to, we will have to get legislative approval. So it goes through the AG's, Attorney General's Department, to Cabinet, and finally to Parliament for the proposed decoupling to take effect.
The Civil Air Navigation Services Organization Council has lauded Ghana for the move. Jeff Poole is the Director General of Council Africa. He says it is in line with international best practice.
One of the problems that we have in air traffic management is exactly that separation, because the air navigation service provider earns the revenues, which are then handed over to the government, and the air navigation service provider is then subject to a budget like any other government department. We would like to see a much more self-sufficient arrangement whereby the air navigation service provider has control over both its revenues and its costs and can operate like a normal business, and that the government therefore becomes a shareholder, but a controlling shareholder, because it's setting the regulatory framework and setting performance targets for the air navigation service provider. We believe, and we have evidence, that that's a much better system than having the air navigation service provider and the regulator all within the same government department.
According to the Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, the decoupling would see the introduction of a safety charge on each international flight ticket purchased from October 1. That is $10 for passengers and $20 for cargo, to essentially support the authority financially after the decoupling. So will this lead to an increase in airfares, and what more do passengers need to know about the introduction of the safety charge?
Currently, the CAA, that is Safety Oversight Unit of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, is funded from the various licensing activities, surveillance, inspections we do, but that is not adequate. There's a lot of subsidy from the Air Traffic Services Unit. But once we separate, that cross subsidy will be cut off. So the CAA will have to be, autonomous and financially sustainable. So as part of the broader scheme of the decoupling, we had approval from the government to implement a safety charge to support the CAA's activities. So primarily, the Civil Aviation Authority, after decoupling, will be funded from the aviation safety charge. There are two components of the aviation safety charge. There is a charge for passenger and a charge for cargo. The safety charge for passenger is on international flights, it's $10 either way. Going out, you pay $10. Coming in, you pay $10. For cargo, is $20 per ton per 1,000 kilograms. We had to have extensive stakeholder consultation with the Board of Airline Representatives in Ghana. In addition to that, we met IATA, jointly with them and separately, to discuss the introduction of the safety charge. So after lots and lots of meetings, all parties agreed to the modalities for the implementation of the charge, and infants, babies and kids up to 2 years are exempted from paying any safety charge. And from 1st October, like I said, it will be implemented, and IATA has already given us a code for the safety charge, which will reflect on tickets purchased after the 15th of September for travels from or beyond 1st October. So if you buy a ticket now, you are not traveling in September and you are traveling in October, you'll see a code G5, which is a safety charge for Ghana, and it will indicate $10 either direction.
The Director General for Council Africa adds the decoupling would come with some challenges, but its impact on aviation safety is overriding.
Air traffic management is so vital to connectivity and economic growth, and so by ensuring that the air traffic management part of aviation is operating as efficiently as possible, performing against quite tough targets and continuous improvement, then that's going to help the nation as a whole and economic growth, tourism and so on.
So what do air passengers make of the introduction of the safety charge?
Okay, the point is that money cannot buy life, you understand? So if you are traveling, you are getting the security and protection just for $10. Me, Eric, I will pay. But I don't, in life you have individual differences. Somebody may also not like to pay. But the question I'm asking is, without the $10, are they giving us better service? That's the question that I want the aviation people to answer before we all pay the $10. If they are giving us better service, then there's no point of us paying the $10 because we are already enjoying the better service. If you are not enjoying the better service, you are paying the $10 to enjoy the better service, then we are ready to pay.
Well, it's part of what we pay for when you buy your ticket. For me, I'm a Nigerian, and that was part of the taxes I paid for coming to Ghana. So, and anytime you travel, there's always safety and some other charges, including bags. For most countries you go to, you get charged for that. So I don't know, but the price is what I don't know. I don't live there, so I don't know what $10 would be to an average traveler in Ghana. If it's going to be a lot or it's going to be okay with them.
So just as you heard, come June 2017, all should be set for the final endorsement for the separation of the air navigation services from the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, just as was done with the Airport Company Limited. However, for the safety charges for some of the passengers, just as you heard, if it comes with better services, then they don't mind paying the extra fees. Reporting for Joy News, Sheila Tamaklo.
Means that the next time you travel, you have to pay that extra charge. And I had to take a cue from the Nigerian in there. So they already were paying it in their country, and so they just don't know how much it will be coming at a cost to us, the travelers in our country. We'll see how that goes. But we hope that you enjoyed this very edition of AM Business. We'll be here same time next week, Wednesday, bring you another edition, and it will be exclusive to this very channel. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll be doing great conversations on the subject of education and its linkage to youth unemployment.